Hey friends, today we are going on a tour of the Walt Disney Imagineering headquarters in Glendale, California, and I am so excited. This is the place where Disney makes the magic come to life and the birthplace of the audio animatronic, and I'm so honored to give you a rare look inside and show you what Disney is working on. So we're gonna tour this historic building, learn how the magic is made, and have a beautiful Walt Disney Imagineering kind of day. Anywho's, let's go do this. This is such an amazing experience. So many historical, groundbreaking achievements happened right inside this building, and I'm so honored to be invited out by Disney and show you guys around and get a look at how the magic is made. This is like a dream come true for me, and I'm just really excited to be here. Imagineering was founded by Walt Disney himself in 1952 to design and build Disneyland, and they're still doing the same thing 70 years later, making the impossible possible. And I fell in love with Disney by going to the parks and seeing things I couldn't explain, like life-looking audio animatronics, attractions and rides that give you goosebumps. And we're going to talk to some of the Imagineers, learn the history, the process it takes to make the magic come to life, and also get a close look at some of the things they're working on right now in the future. And I'm so excited. Now, I'm only going to be able to show you what they allow me to show you. It's top secret inside there, and like I said, it's not open to the public, so this is a very rare look inside. And like I said, I'm just honored to be here. I am so excited. I love how it says Walt Disney Imagineering on top. Even the address is in like the form of a cast member name badge, and it's just so cool. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to show you guys some of the things Disney's gonna be working on. Oh wow, look at it in here. Wow, I'm already obsessed. This is like a dream come true for me.
So you're standing in 1401 Flower Street. This is the headquarters of Walt Disney Imagineering globally. We actually have over 12 buildings just on this campus alone, and we're going to get to explore some of them today. So unless there are any questions, you ready to take a walk? Hallway, themed after the Mark V monorail from the Walt Disney World Resort. It's a fun way for our guests and also our Imagineers to come and enter our building here at 1401 Flower Street. And it features animated scenes from attractions and characters from all of our parks all around the world. So we're going to walk down this hallway, but please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the hallway at all times.
Here is the monorail hallway. Look at how beautiful this is. What a way to walk into the building. It's like we're in a monorail itself, but there's actual doors and offices, and I love the displays. Look at this. Wow, some of our favorite attractions. This is so cool. I didn't know this was in here actually, so it kind of like got me surprised. Oh, look at, like, what's this sign say? Transportation. Holy moly. And then you get to the end and look at Walt there. That is so cool. Now, Walt Disney Imagineering is more than just one building. It's a whole campus full of several different buildings that have different departments in them. We're starting here at the main lobby. This is 1401, and they have some beautiful artwork and murals, and they have a crazy studio that I can't wait to show you. And then we're gonna hop around, and I'll try to keep informing you where we go, but there's a lot of places that we're gonna not be allowed to film. So if the video bounces around a little bit, just know there's some top secret stuff going on. Just walking around, exploring the halls, you can see there's so much history on the walls. This little hallway is basically like a timeline of everything that Walt Disney Imagineering has come up with. Even at the beginning, right here is a copy of the original concept art for Disneyland that Walt had made up so that he can take it to the bank to get money. Isn't that so cool? And it goes all the way down. 1952, Wet Enterprises, and then 1955, Disneyland. This is amazing. 1971, Magic Kingdom opens. And look at this. Paging Mr. Morrow, Mr. Tom Morrow. I'm sorry if I get a little giddy, but this is like blowing my mind, seeing all of this. Marty Schuyler presentation room right there. And look, we're in 1998, Disney Cruise Line, and then 2001 for Disney California Adventure, Tokyo Disney Sea there. Look at this. Walt Disney Studios Park, we were just there the other day. We're gonna make our way into one of the model rooms. This is where they build models of upcoming projects, and I think they have the Lion King ride that's gonna be put in Disneyland Paris on display. And that's so cool. Everything starts with a life-size model, and then they have like VR versions and everything like that, but it's cool seeing a little tiny miniature version of it.
The new Lion King land coming to Disney Adventure Park, formerly known as Walt Disney Studios Paris. And so, the important thing to remember about models is that unlike a film, in theme parks, the guests are the cameras. We do not get to choose where they look. They get to choose where they look, which means we need to design in three-dimensional space using layers. And you know, The Lion King has been around as a film for quite some time, but we've never really paid it off in terms of its own land or its own attraction. So this is so exciting that the story is going to get to live on in a new way. And then we have this much larger model over here.
It's awesome seeing all of the work that I've seen in the parks that I've been around all around the world. Disneyland Paris, we've been to Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea, and they have models of the things that are there now. Look at how cool this Disneyland Pirates of the Caribbean transition mock-up is. You can see the pirate on one side here, and then when you come to the other side, look at that. Isn't that so cool looking? I could probably stand here all day and just go back and forth like this. Ooh, you can get it right in the middle. Now we're gonna make our way into the Blaine Gibson Sculpture Studio and look at all of these like moments of history with sculptures all around Disney. You can see so many iconic characters, Figment over there, and they actually have a lot more on display inside the studio itself. Some of them they have behind the glass. You know, I always say they keep the good stuff behind the glass. Look, you can see Brer Rabbit up there. Wow, in the top there, you can see some of the heads from the Country Bear Jamboree. Figment in this corner. A lot of the Pirates of the Caribbean sculptures right over here. This is so cool. I'm sure we have some Haunted Mansion ones down here. And I was wondering what these dinosaurs are from. I think that's from the Universe of Energy with Ellen, the old Epcot attraction. They really do. Look at these dinos over here. This is so cool to be able to see. Just to be in here. Prince Eric here. Oh, there's one of the pigs from Splash Mountain. Some more Walt up there. And I think those are the bust of the ghost on the Haunted Mansion. The ones that pop out, I think. And here's a little bit more about Blaine Gibson and the work that he did here at Disney Imagineering. Look at all of that. Such a cool experience to be in here. And on the other side, you have the Seven Dwarfs and Snow White. These are beautiful sculptures. Oh, and I think they have an A100 over here. Look at this. Along with the nice Mickey statue. Joe Cocker. Look at that. It's an audio animatronic. That is awesome. Of course, you know, now we have A1000s, but that was one of the A100s there. And everything in the back here, I mean, I'm glad they have it behind the case, though, because if you did knock it over, you know what I mean? I don't want any accidents. Things look a little fragile in here. Look at the characters down here. Wow. So many unique and, like I said, memorable like characters. Oh, look at Brer Fox right here. That's crazy. Chip and Dale, Baloo, the Pirates of the Caribbean scene right here, when he's on top of the cannon shooting across. I can spend hours in here, but like I said, we have a lot to get to, and the temperature is actually really nice in here. They keep it cold, you know, because you don't want anything to like damage any of the sculptures. So I think we're gonna move along.
Welcome to the sound department at Walt Disney Imagineering. You are standing in Circle Studio C. One of the most unique features of this room is we have a technology in here called wave field synthesis, which, if you think about traditional audio, whether it's stereo or 5.1, as a sound designer, I have the ability to take a sound and I can move it between two speakers. It's called panning. And that's about the limit of what you can do. You can cross and kind of get more of an immersive sound. What wave field synthesis does is it takes it to a whole different level. We're actually able to render an object of audio in three-dimensional space. So rather than it sounding like it's coming out of a speaker, it's actually sounding like it's coming from right here. You're going to get a chance to hear this in just a minute. And you're going to get to hear the ghost host in your head. So, yep, X is
X
right
the magic spot.
X is the magic spot. And I will get us started here.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion. I am your host, your ghost host. Our tour begins here in this gallery. Here where you see paintings of some of our guests as they appeared in their corruptible, mortal state. Kindly step all the way in, please, and make room for everyone. There's no turning back now.
Studio C was incredible. Just being in that room, hearing the ghost host and learning how they make it seem like he's floating around and talking in your ear was an incredible experience. And the sculpture room was so cool. I loved it. I'm sorry, I get like worked up because I'm literally just so excited. I wish I could have showed you some other things, but I got to see a lot. They're still working on some top secret stuff in there, but we got to keep moving along, and we're going to make our way over to 900 Grand Central, and this is where they make the audio animatronics, and I'm so excited for this. I was warned though, we probably aren't going to be able to show you a lot in there because they are actively, in work, and but they did say that I was going to get hands-on, so that's got me excited.
On the right side here, you see an early prototype of the Mr. Potato Head ear removal gag, where we're testing with the system that he can successfully take his ear off and put it back on.
This is really cool because it shows you how they control the audio animatronics. This is how they currently do it with the laptop and a more digital age. But this is the old way they used to do it. It's kind of like a big panel. You can see there's a human imprint right here, and they have them marked here's the fingers, so you can move the fingers forward, pelvis, side bend. That is so cool. I can't even believe I'm touching this stuff, but they gave me permission. I promise you guys. I think this is so awesome. And you can just see the different actions happening right here on the face. This is a princess class head. Isn't that so cool? And look at what we've come from. We went from this to something like this. It's honestly just amazing. They have some of the puppet heads that you can actually play around with. Look at Rocket right here from Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. And you can actually move them on the inside here. Look at this. How does it work? Oh, that's the ear. The snarl. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Down here you have the eyes. You can move them around. And then Lieutenant Burke on this side. Lieutenant Burke, Lieutenant Beck. Look at this. That's cool. They even have a section where you can touch some of the silicone. Look at this hand here. Look at this. It feels so realistic. I love this. This is such a cool, unique thing. So memorable. Please play. I will. Getting so close to the animatronics like that will be one of those moments I will remember forever. It was so cool. And did you see Rocket? I literally was moving Rocket's eyes around. That was such an amazing highlight and so cool that I got to see inside there. Like I said before, there was a lot more that I could have showed you guys, but I'm not allowed to because they are working on projects that haven't been released yet, and they're actually preparing for the future of what is to come in all of the Disney parks. And we don't want to spoil it, but I kind of got a glimpse of some cool stuff. And let me tell you something. There's a lot to look forward to. Now we're going to move along. We're going to make our way to R&D. This is a building or a department that does research and development. Now this is cutting edge technology at its best. The future, the best way to put it. And we're going to get to see some of the fun futuristic things found in the parks and are going to be in the parks soon.
Welcome to Walt Disney Imagineering Research and Development. I'm one of the leaders here. So we're going to show you a few projects here today. I think we're going to show you 4 projects. But before we do that, I wanted to give you a brief primer on sort of what we do. So here at Walt Disney Imagineering Research and Development, we do new things. We do really hard new things that we believe will really delight our guests as we bring them out into the world.
This is Hollow Tile. My name is Lanny, and this is the world's first multiple user, expandable, modular treadmill floor. People sometimes talk about treadmills that are small. This is walk in any direction, they'll never walk off the floor, and they'll never, for instance, if there are 2 people on the floor, they'll never collide. Okay, so I'm walking around at Disneyland. It's fun. I'm seeing what you're seeing in the background here, but for me, I'm enveloped inside of Disneyland. The other one turns the slant of this thing, rotates the slant. It is the edge of that slant that my feet are on, and in any direction you can have. Take a look at that.
That's cool.
It's actually touching its edge. I'd like to
Really? I feel like I'm petting a goat.
tiles, just like that, shoved together. Each one can move anything on its surface in any direction. As a result, the whole floor can move anything in any direction.
Ride vehicle and say a Beauty and the Beast ride.
Okay. I'm gonna use my Jedi Force on him because I don't like that. I don't like. Oh, now how do you feel?
Sorry, man.
Yeah, you're a little sorry.
We'll do it again.
I'm video. I got
On camera?
That was horrible. All right, here we go.
Hello. My name is Bill Hogue. I'm a software engineer. I worked on big things like Rise of the Resistance, medium things like the Holotile, and small things like Ray's extendable saber.
Wow.
Who wants to try it? Saw your hand first.
Oh, all
I have
right.
multiple battery charges. You want to try it?
Yes.
Really?
I promise I will not swing it
Will
around.
not hit anybody with it?
Never.
Okay, here you go. Okay, I'm gonna get out of your shot, so aim
Okay.
away from people and push
This one?
the black button right there.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
Twist it a little bit like this and rip you back like this.
Oh yeah, like this.
There, you get some good sound.
Wow. I'm not waving it around. I'm being very gentle. Very gentle.
Very good, thank you.
Wow, this is so cool.
Now if you push it again, it'll retract.
Okay. All right, that was the highlight. That was pretty cool.
But it's fun to kind of talk about droids. Do you want to see them? All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hand it over to Robert and Bob, who are 2 of our key engineers. So this is Besh. And I think we have Oscar. Besh and Oscar.
Hi, Oscar.
Hi.
I like the way he struts.
So this controls the head. The left stick controls the body. Oh my god. And then if you click the left stick in, you can start walking around.
See if you can get it to walk. I couldn't figure it out.
He's looking around.
If you click in the left stick, so you just have to hit it 1 time, and it'll take 2 quick steps. Okay. So you just have to click it and then start moving forward before those 2 steps.
The goal of this project was to try to create scenes from our films and TV, right, that really bend your imagination, right, to do seemingly impossible things. In this case, fly 65 feet in the air, Spider-Man, something that a human performer literally can't do. Where we literally have a full humanoid animatronic flying through the air and really trying to figure out all that physics on how we control it safely. That then kept progressing to what this is nearly the production version. So this uses aluminum, these are 3D printed parts, and this is a really, really close version of what you see today in California Adventure.
The R&D was incredible. The fact that I actually used the lightsaber, and it was such an incredible experience, feeling it in my hands, hearing it, so I can't even describe how awesome that was. It was definitely the core moment. I know I said I love the audio animatronics, but that I don't think anything could top. And then seeing the technology, the things that they plan on using in the parks in the future is literally mind-blowing. And the droids, it was such an incredible experience. But now we get to go and actually interview an Imagineer and ask them a couple questions. And I know this Imagineer because he worked on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and we went to New Orleans together, and I got to retrace their research steps. And that was such an awesome moment. And now I get to see him again here at Walt Disney Imagineering, and I can ask him a couple questions. So here is Ted, and he is an Imagineer, and you worked on a lot of great projects. I know you worked on New Fantasyland, right? Mm-hmm. And Tokyo Disney?
That's right.
What has been your most favorite thing or passionate thing that you've worked on?
Oof. I mean, it's almost impossible for any Imagineer to kind of say what my favorite is. It's like choosing between your children. But I will say it's between Iron Man and all the things I worked on for New Fantasyland and Tokyo Disneyland, there's a lot of things to point to. And more recently, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I would say it's a toss-up between Tiana's Bayou Adventure and one of the early shows I worked on, which was Enchanted Tales with Belle at Magic Kingdom. And I think if I had to say why, it's because it's so easy to see how those shows really get an emotional response from people, and a lot of the feedback we get is just that both of those shows, those attractions, made people feel good. They made people feel like they were recognized by both Tiana and Belle, and honestly, that's the best feeling for us, that we got to give that or help create that for people, that experience. That's everything.
We went to New Orleans together for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and that was probably one of my greatest moments in my life. And honestly, it was cool that I got to see you here. And if you could pick one thing that you wish you could have worked on, like something that maybe you've seen somebody else, kind of design, or something you wish you were a part of, which one would it be?
That's tough to say too, because my experience with the parks goes back to me being, a kid going to Disneyland in the early 1970s, through when I fly to now, right, as a fan, as well as somebody who helps, along with a lot of other people, be part of a team to create these things. If there's one show that I wish I could have maybe been a part of, in helping to create, or even just been there for the process, I think it would have been a dream to do anything related to Animal Kingdom, because I like animals, and I really think that's one of the most beautiful parks that Disney has ever created.
What got you into Imagineering?
When I was a young kid, I was always into comic books and music and cartoons and animation, and later on, even as a teenager, those were kind of the things that I gravitated towards: visual arts, and whether it's graphic design or illustration or comic books, or music, playing music, composing music, being in bands and all of them, performing in plays and all those types of things. I did not know what Imagineering was until my family and I visited Epcot, or back then Epcot Center when it opened. And my parents bought a book for me on the making of Epcot, and I started reading this book. I said, "What are Imagineers?" And so I started to understand who these people were, not just the art talent, not just the architectural talent, but the engineers, the set dressers, and all these types of things. I had no idea there was such a thing. I loved the parks, and I knew someone must have created all of this, but I didn't know that behind it were all of these different, and as it turns out, hundreds, 100+ different disciplines when it comes to writers or construction managers and all those things. So for me, coming to Walt Disney Imagineering was a bit of an accident, because I actually started as an artist for Disney Interactive, or at the time it was called Buena Vista Software. And somehow an Imagineer was leading a project over there and then invited me to come over to Imagineering to do some work with him. And that's basically how I got started here. I didn't plan on it, but but I've been here ever since, and I'm happy and proud to be here.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're here too. Getting to talk to Ted and ask him a couple of questions was so surreal, especially being in the Walt Disney Imagineering campus. He is such an awesome guy, and he's so smart. And honestly, I was so nervous talking to him. So Ted, I'm sorry if I was nervous. Thank you for making it entertaining and telling me a lot of what you do and how you got into Imagineering. And it was awesome seeing you again. So now we're gonna go and explore the outside campus a little bit, and then we get to hop into Mickey's of Glendale and do a little shopping. Outside of the campus, they actually have a little green area that has some old Disney attractions, and it's actually very pretty in here. Look at this. We're walking around. I saw Heimlich's choo-choo train over here before. This is so cozy. This is where everyone comes out and they have their lunch, and it's in between all the different buildings. Look it, it's Heimlich's choo-choo train. That is awesome. Nice little water walkway here. Can you imagine working here and coming out for your lunch right next to Mickey's of Glendale? Oh wow, this is just beautiful. And here it is, Mickey's of Glendale. I am so excited to see what merchandise they have in here, and I get to shop a little. So I'll show you guys all the goods. All the goods. Wow, look at this. I'm actually wearing this hat right now, and I have a couple of these shirts at home. I usually get them during D23. Normally you can only shop at Mickey's Glendale during D23, and this is like a nice little bonus here. They even have a Muppets area over here. Look at that. Today has been such an amazing, memorable experience, and I'm happy that I get to buy some souvenirs to remember my time here, even though I've got a whole video now to remember my time. That's the best thing about making these videos, is because it's like a digital scrapbook of all the memories and all the cool adventures that I've been on, and I'm happy that I get to share them with you. Ooh, and they got a 50% off section over here. Look at that. 50% off the Sorcerer's Apprentice hat. Wow, and look at the background on that. I wonder what else they got. They got some Spirit jerseys, it looks like, some shirts. This is cool. Ooh, and a 40% off. We got 50 and 40. And this is all just Walt Disney Imagineering merch. They got a nice little, I don't know what you call those. Like the quarter zips. That's what you call them. I wonder if I get my annual pass discount here, because then I can use it on the 50% off merch. I don't think that's possible, because that would be too good to be true. Here's a nice selection of Disney pins. They have sets, and then they have individual loose ones too. Look at the Incredibles. They have the limited edition one over here. That looks awesome. Along with some of these down here, and then they have the maps. These are $40 for the pin set. They're actually on sale. I feel like I definitely have to get some. I think they have more on this side. Look at this. Jungle Book, Moana, Peter Pan, Aladdin. Wow, this is really, really cool. Frozen, Dumbo. Look at the Alice in Wonderland one down here. That is amazing. And with that, I think we are done here today. I had such an incredible day. Dare I say I had the best day of my life, because I feel like I had the best day of my life. I got to hold a real lightsaber. I got to use a lightsaber. And I got to control audio animatronics with Rocket and sticking my hand in the back of his head and making him snarl and growl. That was such a crazy, awesome experience that I would have never thought I could ever be a part of. And I owe it all to you. Thank you guys so much for watching the videos. If you didn't watch these videos, I would never have these opportunities. So I owe it all to you. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it came out good. It was hard not filming the areas I wasn't supposed to film in. I got to see a lot of good stuff, but I can't show it. But maybe one day I can talk about it. So I hope the clips lined up, because usually I like to, you know, kind of like narrate going through some of this stuff, but we didn't have time for that. Top secret stuff. But yeah, like I said, best day ever. And I got a bunch of pins from Mickey's at Glendale. I'll probably put them up on my whatnot. Wow. I'm just like, we just got done and I'm just like, wow, that was so amazing. Anywho's, I hope you enjoyed the video, because I enjoyed making it. And thank you, Disney, for inviting me, and thank you guys for watching my videos. We'll see you next time. Bye.